Think about that person who never begs for respect, but commands it effortlessly. They never chase attention, yet all eyes are on them the moment they enter. It's not about wealth, looks, or even raw intelligence. What they hold is a silent, invisible power, a hidden force that changes every interaction without anyone realizing. For over 500 years, this secret has been hidden in plain sight, passed down by Machiavelli himself. Today, you are about to uncover this secret, the ultimate weapon of influence.
Once you see it, you can never unsee it.
Are you ready to become the silent force everyone respects but no one can predict? Point 1. Invisible power. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly change the energy? Without shouting, without boasting, their presence alone demands attention and respect. That, my friend, is invisible power. It's not about how much noise you make or how loud you are. Real power works quietly and deliberately, like the calm before a storm. Machiavelli, the master strategist, understood this deeply. He saw that true power isn't about force or domination shouted from the rooftops. It's about control wielded in the shadows. It's about shaping situations so subtly that others don't even realize they're being influenced until it's too late. Invisible power is the art of commanding respect without asking for it. It's the magnetic force that makes people stop, listen, and take notice, even if you say nothing at all. It's what separates the leaders from the followers, the rulers from the subjects. You don't need money, status, or brain power to wield this force. I've seen ordinary people with remarkable invisible power. They don't try to prove themselves because their very being makes people believe they are valuable. It's the quiet confidence, the steady gaze, the calm breath, that unshakable aura that tells the world, I am here and I matter. Think about how your brain unconsciously scans a room. It picks up subtle cues, how someone carries themselves, the steadiness in their voice, the way they make eye contact. These tiny details create a big impression, one that doesn't need words. This power comes from deep self-control. It's the patience to remain silent when others rush to speak, the strength to stand still when everyone else is moving nervously. It's knowing that every gesture, every pause is a calculated move. Machiavelli said, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Invisible power is living this truth. It's showing just enough to intrigue and command, but keeping your true strength concealed like a tiger in the grass. This presence isn't accidental, it's cultivated through awareness and discipline. When you start focusing inward, honing your energy, and mastering your emotions, you build this invisible force. You learn to walk into any scenario not as a victim or a noisemaker, but as a quietly dominant presence. The effect is profound. People begin to respect your boundaries without you having to shout or threaten. They anticipate your moves and think twice before challenging you. You stop being an option and become a force. Emotional control is the foundation of invisible power. When you don't react impulsively, when you hold your calm like a shield, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is what makes people cautious. They never know what to expect, and that creates respect. So, start today. Practice presence. Slow your speech, deepen your breath, and hold your silence like a treasure. Let your eyes speak calm authority. When you master this, you will no longer need to demand respect. It will come naturally, like gravity. Point 2. The power of unpredictability. Have you ever noticed that the most predictable people are often the easiest to control? When others can read your every thought, anticipate your every move, and know exactly how you will react, you become vulnerable. Your reactions become their weapons. They learn how to manipulate you, push your buttons, and influence your decisions before you even realize it. Predictability is a silent enemy. It breaks your power without a single fight. Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. He warned that power belongs to those who keep their intentions hidden, their reactions measured, and their emotions guarded.
Real influence comes from mystery, from being unreadable.
When people don't know what to expect from you, they hesitate. They second-guess themselves before crossing your path. That hesitation is your shield, your fortress. Think about how you behave under pressure. Do you wear your heart on your sleeve? Do you react instantly to every compliment or criticism? Or do you maintain a steady calm, revealing just enough to keep others engaged but never enough to be predictable? There is a cruel brilliance in unpredictability. It's not about random behavior or erratic actions. It's about strategic ambiguity, knowing when to engage, when to step back, when to speak, and when to stay silent. It's the art of controlled mystery that makes people work to earn your trust, respect, and attention. People who are predictable hand over control. They explain themselves too much, respond too quickly, and expose their weaknesses openly. Meanwhile, the strategically unpredictable person guards their cards, revealing layers slowly, always leaving an air of enigma. Machiavelli said the true test of power is who surrounds the ruler, those who understand the king's mystery and those who fall victim to manipulation. Treat your information as currency. Every detail you reveal is a coin spent. Spend it wisely. In life, this means not rushing to answer every call, not saying yes to every invitation, not exposing your plans to everyone. It is about making your presence a privilege rather than a right. Sometimes be warm and inviting. Other times be distant and reserved. The oscillation creates an aura that keeps people guessing and, most importantly, keeps them respectful. Unpredictability is the master key that opens doors others don't even know exist. It's that gap between what people think you will do and what you actually do. That gap fills their minds with intrigue, caution, and ultimately, respect. So start practicing unpredictability now. Be strategic about your reactions, your words, and your availability. Cultivate a reputation for mystery. When people cannot predict your next move, they hold you in higher regard, not just out of fear, but out of genuine respect. Point 3. The silent observer's secret weapon. Have you ever noticed that the person who speaks the least in a room often holds the most power?
There's a reason for
This is not about being shy or invisible. It's about mastering the art of silent observation. Machiavelli, the master of power dynamics, understood that the quieter you are, the more you see. And what you see gives you control. Most people rush to fill every silence with words out of fear that if they don't speak, they won't be noticed. But the powerful do the opposite. They listen deeply while others talk themselves into revealing their plans, fears, and weaknesses. With every word others speak, you gain valuable pieces of information, quietly assembling a map of the room's hidden tensions and true motivations without ever exposing your own thoughts. When you ask questions rather than making statements, you steer the conversation. The person who asks controls the flow and discovers secrets the talkers are desperate to hide. Observing body language, tone changes, and silences reveals more than words ever could. People unknowingly reveal their true selves when they believe no one is watching closely. This is not passive behavior. It is active strategic engagement. The silent observer chooses their moments carefully, speaking only when their words can have maximum impact, and using questions to draw others out. This calculated way of interacting turns every conversation into a game where you are already several moves ahead. The power of silent observation goes beyond just conversations. It lets you see patterns, anticipate threats, and identify allies. You start to understand who is genuine, who is deceitful, and who is simply playing a role. This insight allows you to act with precision and confidence, avoiding unnecessary conflicts and striking only when it benefits you most. People remember the talkers, but they respect the quiet ones who listen with purpose. When you observe more and speak less, you cultivate an aura of calm authority that others find magnetic and intimidating. This presence is felt even when silent, and it commands respect effortlessly. So start practicing silent observation in daily life. Hold back the urge to speak unnecessarily. Train your ears and eyes to notice subtle cues, tiny shifts in mood, fleeting glances, half-finished sentences. Use this information as your secret weapon. Remember the affirmation, I speak with purpose, listen with power, and observe with advantage. Master this, and you will wield a power few understand, a power born not from loud words or flashy actions, but from the quiet, steady accumulation of unseen knowledge. Point 4. Scarcity. Imagine a world where everything is always available to you, every person, every opportunity, every resource, right at your fingertips. If you were constantly accessible, constantly saying yes, constantly present, how much value would people place on your time and attention?
Probably very little.
The truth is, scarcity creates value, while unlimited availability destroys it. Machiavelli understood this fundamental law of human psychology long ago. The prince who appears everywhere, tries to please everyone, and offers his favors without discretion will soon find himself ignored and disrespected. But the prince who masters scarcity becomes invaluable. His presence, his time, and his attention become prized commodities, rare and precious. Let's break this down. When you say yes to every request, respond instantly to every message, and make yourself easily reachable at all times, people learn to take you for granted. Your attention becomes background noise, expected, ordinary, unworthy of special effort. But when you are selectively available, when your time and presence are carefully rationed, you suddenly become someone whose presence feels like an event.
Not a given. Think of gold or diamonds. They are valuable precisely because they are scarce.
The more rare something is, the more it commands desire and respect. Your attention should operate the same way. By becoming selectively scarce, you turn access to your energy into something others must earn through respect and worthy behavior. You transform from being anyone's option into being a privilege only a few can enjoy. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge more by what they see than what they feel." If you allow easy access, people will perceive you as common and less worthy. But by protecting your availability, you create an aura of exclusivity and mystery that amplifies your power. How does one practice scarcity in modern life? It means you don't rush to answer every call or message. You don't accept every invitation or opportunity automatically. Instead, you evaluate which moments deserve your energy and say no to the rest without guilt or over-explaining. Sometimes you vanish for periods without warning, leaving others wondering and wanting more. This scarcity also applies to emotional availability. You don't give your warmth, attention, or compassion to just anyone. You are selective about who earns your time. This selectivity sends a strong, silent signal that your resources, whether time, energy, or emotion, are valuable and deserve respect. Remember, scarcity doesn't mean playing childish games or pretending to be busy. It's about genuinely valuing your presence and showing that value through consistent, deliberate choices. When people know you don't tolerate being taken for granted, they start respecting you more. They don't push your boundaries because they understand that respect is the price of access. Your scarcity forces others to operate at a higher level of respect and effort around you. Now imagine the impact of this in your relationships, career, and social life. People will compete to earn your attention. Opportunities won't chase you, they'll wait for you. Your presence will change the energy in any room because it no longer flows freely. It's a privilege to be near you. To cultivate this, start small. Choose one area of your life where you tend to be overly available. Maybe you always answer every message immediately, or maybe you never say no to social invitations. Begin setting boundaries around these habits. Delay your response. Say no without apologies. Be okay with creating healthy distance. The power of scarcity is a profound shift from feeling drained by constant demands to feeling charged by deliberate presence. It is because true power isn't just in what you do, but in how and when you choose to do it. Point 5. Strategic presence. Have you ever wondered why some people are remembered forever for just showing up, while others seem invisible even in crowded rooms? There's something called strategic presence, and it's far more powerful than being everywhere and trying to say everything. Machiavelli understood this well when he advised that a successful leader must balance the cunning of a fox with the strength of a lion. In modern terms, strategic presence is about being the right person, in the right place at exactly the right time, and owning that moment with quiet confidence and precision. Strategic presence is not about being loud or dominating conversations. It's about making a calculated impact, appearing in moments that matter most, and letting your presence shift the energy in a way that demands respect and attention. When you master this, you don't just attend events, you become the event. People remember you not because you spoke more, but because you spoke with power, timing, and authority. What's remarkable about strategic presence is its discipline. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to the great ones. It means missing some moments intentionally, so the moments you do show up become legendary. The power lies in restriction, a focused, deliberate presence that others rely on and respect, not a scattered one that loses impact. Machiavelli famously said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves." Strategic presence is exactly about this balance, the flexibility to watch and learn secretly, then to act boldly and decisively when it matters. It also means knowing when to leave a conversation or situation. Leaving at the right moment often creates a stronger impression than overstaying your welcome. You want people to be left wishing you had stayed longer, craving your presence again, instead of wondering when you'll finally leave. This careful management of entrances and exits is a key part of your invisible dominance. Strategic presence is a game of energy management. Your emotions and actions are consistent and controlled. You don't react to every stimulus. You respond selectively. This makes your words echo long after you've gone because they are rare, thoughtful, and powerful. When you master this, you shape reality quietly but unmistakably.
People don't just see you, they feel you.
Their expectations shift. The rules of interaction change around you because you've set the tone without saying a single word. Start cultivating strategic presence by choosing your moments carefully. Attend events that matter, speak on topics where you add unique value, and practice leaving conversations with elegance. Observe the energy flow and learn where your presence ignites or dims it. Remember, the goal isn't to be everywhere always, it's to be unforgettable when you are. Master this and your influence will grow without the need to chase it. Point 6. Emotional control. Mastery, one of the most overlooked yet most critical skills in the playbook of power, is emotional control. Machiavelli knew this implicitly. The leaders who lost control of their emotions lost their influence. Emotions can either be your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. You must learn to feel deeply but respond strategically. This mastery is what separates the truly powerful from the impulsive and vulnerable. Every day, people try to manipulate you through your emotions. They use praise to lull you into complacency. They use criticism to provoke anger or defensiveness. They use pressure and urgency to force hasty decisions.
And they use flattery to cloud your judgment.
If you react emotionally to these tactics, you are handing them the keys to your control. Emotional mastery is not about becoming cold or detached. It's about experiencing all emotions fully, but choosing if, when, and how to express them in ways that serve your goals. This means feeling anger without letting it cause rash decisions. It means acknowledging praise without becoming dependent on approval. It means recognizing manipulation attempts and sidestepping them with calm. Machiavelli's observation was clear. Emotional people get controlled. Controlled people stay powerless. The ability to regulate your emotional responses protects you from impulsive errors that weaken your position and reputation. Consider a moment when someone tries to provoke you during a negotiation or confrontation. The typical response is to fire back, escalate, or shut down. But what if you pause instead, to think before you speak or act? This pause is powerful. It disorients your opponent and shows you are in command of yourself, not your emotions. Emotional control enhances your unpredictability as well. When your reactions are measured and sometimes subtle, people cannot read your emotional state easily. They hesitate because they don't know how you will respond, and that hesitation becomes your leverage. Furthermore, emotional mastery breeds trust. People respect leaders who remain calm under pressure. They look to them as sources of stability and guidance when chaos erupts. The one who maintains composure becomes the anchor in turbulent seas. So how do you develop this emotional control? Start by becoming aware of your emotional triggers. Notice what makes you reactive. Practice mindfulness and train yourself to pause before responding. Replace reactive impulses with measured, intentional action. Remind yourself often, emotions provide information, not instructions. You don't have to act on every feeling. By mastering your emotions, you gain clarity, confidence, and above all, control. Point 7. The power of strategic silence. Silence is one of the most powerful weapons you're likely not using enough. While most people fear silence and rush to fill every pause with words, the truly powerful understand that silence holds immense authority. Machiavelli knew that strategic silence is far more impactful than any spoken word. Many believe that talking more means contributing more, that silence is a sign of weakness or lack of control. But this is a misconception. Silence, when used deliberately, is a signal of confidence, control, and strength. It forces others to fill the space, often exposing their own intentions, weaknesses, or fears without realizing it. Think about your last important conversation. Did you rush to answer, explain, or defend yourself? What if you had embraced the silence instead? When a loaded question is asked, a quick response is easy to manipulate, but a thoughtful pause disrupts expectations. People become uneasy, unsure of how to proceed, because silence has created an invisible pressure, a demand for reflection. Strategic silence does more than unsettle others. It makes your eventual words carry tremendous weight. When you speak after a pause, people listen more carefully because the silence builds anticipation and respect. Your voice becomes your most powerful tool, wielded with precision rather than volume. Machiavelli said, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." Using silence has its dangers too. It requires courage to resist the urge to fill the void. But this courage creates unpredictability, making others wary and respectful of your presence. Silence also protects you from revealing too much. In times of tension or conflict, the more you speak, the more ammunition you provide to your opponents. Silence conceals your thoughts and strategies, leaving others guessing and off balance. Try practicing strategic silence intentionally. When someone provokes or pressures you, pause before responding. When asked a difficult question, give the silence time to stretch. When conversations escalate, let silence be your shield. Watch as people fill the gaps with information you can use. This approach is not about withdrawing or being distant. It's about controlling the pace and flow of interaction. It also encourages others to work harder to earn your attention and trust, because you've made your attention a scarce and valuable resource. Point 8. Master the art of concealment. One of the most ruthless lessons from Machiavelli's playbook is the necessity to know the weaknesses of everyone around you while ensuring that your own vulnerabilities remain hidden. Power thrives in secrecy and the careful control of information. Revealing your weaknesses is like handing your enemies a loaded weapon, one they will not hesitate to use against you. People are complex. Everyone has pressure points, whether pride, fear, desire, guilt, or insecurity. Machiavelli dissected human nature with the sharpness of a surgeon. He believed that identifying others' weak points is key to influence and manipulation. But while you learn these points, you must cloak your own vulnerabilities in complete indifference. You should appear invincible, always in control, never giving away your true struggles or flaws. Why? Because the moment others see a crack in your armor, they target it. Whether in business, politics, or personal life, your weaknesses will be exploited relentlessly. Those who confess their shortcomings openly may think they gain sympathy or trust, but in reality, they lose leverage and respect. Machiavelli warned leaders to use disguise and deception as tools. Sometimes one must cloak the truth with lies to control perception and maintain power. This doesn't mean constant deceit, but rather a strategic presentation of self. You reveal what builds your mystique and conceal what invites attack. In practice, mastering concealment involves control over what you share emotionally, professionally, and even socially. You don't have to show your full hand on day one. Instead, reveal your strengths selectively and save surprises for when needed. The less predictable you are about your capabilities and intentions, the more power you command. At the same time, always observe the people around you carefully. Find what makes them tick, what they fear, and what drives their decisions. Use this intelligence not for cruelty, but for strategic advantage, positioning yourself where you can influence without direct confrontation. Remember that power is as much about maintaining an impenetrable facade as it is about offense. Your silence about your true vulnerabilities creates doubt and confusion in your opponents, forcing them to hesitate. Point 9. Create productive uncertainty. In the game of power, certainty can be a weakness. When people know exactly how you will behave, what you will say, and how you will respond, they gain control over you. Machiavelli taught that creating uncertainty around your
Motives and actions is one of the most effective strategies to maintain power and
influence. Productive uncertainty means never being entirely predictable. It's about mixing your reactions, timing, and decisions in ways that keep others guessing, not in a chaotic or random way, but with careful strategy. When people are uncertain about what you will do next, they hesitate to challenge you. They question their own moves, afraid of the unknown consequences. Imagine if every time you responded differently, sometimes quickly, sometimes with delay, sometimes warmly, sometimes coldly. This controlled unpredictability creates fascination and caution. People start paying close attention to you because you are no longer easy to read or manipulate. They work harder to earn your trust and approval, since it is not given lightly, Machiavelli said. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But even deeper, he implies it's better to be unpredictable. Unpredictability breeds respect because it breaks the pattern of control others expect. In your life, productive uncertainty means balancing consistency in your core values with flexibility in your methods. Stand firm on your principles, but vary the way you express them. Don't always reveal your plans immediately. Let others wonder about your intentions and motives. Creating productive uncertainty is also a form of protection. When you keep your cards close to your chest, you never give your opponents enough information to exploit. This keeps you several moves ahead in any negotiation or confrontation. Productive uncertainty helps you avoid the pitfalls of predictability, manipulation, exploitation, and loss of respect. It transforms interactions into puzzles others must solve rather than straightforward transactions. Start by observing how others react to you. Notice if your predictability is encouraging complacency or disrespect. Then begin to vary your responses deliberately, practicing strategic pauses and varying your energy and availability. Point 10. Becoming the hidden force. The final and most transformative lesson from Machiavelli is not just understanding the secret rules of power, but embodying them fully, becoming the hidden force that shapes reality without anyone realizing the depth of your control. This transformation is not about changing who you are, but upgrading your strategy. You remain yourself, but a stronger, sharper, more disciplined version. One who navigates the world with calculated calm and invisible dominance. Start by eliminating 3 habits that sabotage your influence: the need for constant validation, the urge to over-explain your decisions, and emotional reactivity. Your worth is not tied to others' approval, and each unnecessary explanation weakens your position. Emotional impulses often cloud strategic judgment. Mastery over them is essential. Machiavelli emphasized the importance of self-control as the fortress of power. When people cannot predict or control you, they lose leverage. Your unpredictability, combined with strategic silence and calculated presence, creates an aura of invincibility. To become this hidden force, always pause before responding to anything important. This pause allows you to think strategically, making your words more impactful. Use questions wisely to control conversations and reveal information advantageously. Be selectively available, offering your time and energy where it counts. Speak with precision, cutting filler and unnecessary emotion. This new way of operating does not require drama or force. Instead, it demands subtlety and intelligence. You become someone others seek for leadership and counsel, not because you demand it, but because you naturally command it. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice invisible dominance. Listen more, speak less, control your energy, and project silent authority. Over time, your reputation will precede you. People will respect you not because you ask for respect, but because you create conditions where respect is inevitable.